Hey, my name's Mark Fletcher. I'm the owner of News Express and Tower Systems. This is Anthony Suter. He is one of our retail experts at News Express. He and I were really lucky earlier this year in February to get to Spring Fair in Birmingham. And then when we were in London, we were having a look at some innovative retail. And Anthony, one of the shops we came across was a shop called Labour and Weight, which you were obsessed with once you got in there and had a look at it.
Yeah, it was just by chance that we came across this shop, and what drew me to the shop was the exterior and the green tiles and the way it looked so
Yeah.
traditional. And then upon walking inside, we were really taken by
Well,
the whole store.
let's have a look. First of all, we'll have a look at the Labour and Weight website. And here they talk a little bit about the history. If you go to the About Us tab on their website, they talk about the history of the site, and particularly they call themselves curators. And we're going to have a look inside the shop in a moment. But Anthony, I mean, walking in the shop, it really did feel like they'd very thoughtfully and carefully chosen what they were going to carry and how it was represented.
Yeah, so they started in the year 2000, and they're all about having functional, beautiful product that can last the test of time. It is well made. They have brooms, they have buckets, they have
Yeah.
um, clothing, anything that is well made and well designed.
So we're
They
walking past the
like
shop
to carry.
and we see this and it says household goods. And this is what drew you to the shop because it just looked so appealing.
Yeah, and it was very intrigued in terms of what it actually was.
Yeah.
But it
And
was
so
much more than just household goods.
if you look very carefully in the window, what you can see in the window there is they've got toilet brushes displayed in the window, which is pretty cool. It's very cool that they represent it that way. Once you get inside the shop, like you say, they've got the products displayed very effectively, and not
It's really simple as
yeah,
well.
yeah, not in the way that you see a lot of homewares businesses displaying product using these kind of metal drawers. It's fantastic, just for
We
brushes.
even had a price of product too. So on the drawer, that little tag has the price label on it.
Yeah, really
So really
smart.
simple, easy.
And it's fair to say they don't have a lot of each item out on the shelves, do they? They've got a small amount of each item on the shelves.
Yeah. So the actual shop area is quite small, and then behind it, they have a larger area where they have storage
Yeah.
or extra product as well.
So, you've got three different types of string, beautifully packaged, making string kind of almost appealing in a way that's kind of not usual. Um, I know you fell in love with these enamel mugs and all of the enamelware, actually.
Yeah, and so even with the enamelware, I was looking at they had enamel light covers, and to get them here is near impossible. And they actually work with one of their enamel producers in Austria.
Yeah.
They got them to produce these light covers, and the information the guy gave me about the product, about the manufacturers and everything was, it made me want to buy,
Yeah.
even though I don't need them, it made me want to buy them just to have that story connected to the product. And he
So
wasn't one of the owners, he was just a staff member there.
So the retail knowledge and experience shared really encourages the shopper to spend more money. The other thing I'd comment, if you look at this photo, they haven't spent a lot of money on their fixtures. The product is the hero rather than the fixtures.
Yeah, even in terms of the lighting, I don't know if you got any bigger photos of the shops, but they're using mainly kind of lamps to light the area, and natural light as well. So it wasn't very like very that bleak white type light. You can see like the lamps on the side there
Yeah.
lighting it. So it was it felt like you're in a home. And they also had, they sell some candles and products there as well. They also had that scent burning as well. So when you walked in, you were greeted with this beautiful scent, and it really set the tone of the store from the moment you walked in.
It's really interesting because here we're looking at the counter. There up in the top right-hand corner is the light fitting that you're talking about. But what we can see
Yeah.
here visually is a range of textures. You know, you've got shelving over here on the left-hand side that we're facing. Then you've got this kind of almost a pegboard type effect here for displaying product, then more shelving over here. Then you've got counter space being used to display various products here. It just looks so appealing, and so it's sort of different to what you see in a typical homeware store. It almost felt like a camping store in some respects, but a very elevated camping store.
Well, yeah, it's a whole utilitarian type feel of
Yeah.
kind of, camping and that type of product. But they've kind of elevated it in terms of, more of a homeware feel.
And the shop itself,
Um,
as you say, was quite small. But when we were there, I forget which day of the week it was, but it was really busy.
it was really, really, yeah, really busy. So yeah, so this shop was there. They originally had another shop, which then they needed a bigger shop and storage area, so they moved to this one. And since then, they've opened up two other shops in London as well. So they're
Yeah.
actually doing quite well. The other shops, that I believe, they've got more clothing,
Right.
and things like that. So even with this, even that basin, they actually sell that basin that they have on display there as well. So that whole thing you can basically purchase from them if you wanted to.
Yeah. It's very, it looks functional, feels functional, but it's very retail. Very, very retail, really
Yeah.
smart and clever. A little bit of clothing, as you say. Um, and then at the counter, even at the counter, when you're buying something, you've got this little bird call here, which is so random,
Mm.
so fascinating. And when you make a purchase, they wrap it in this brown paper, which is fantastic. Every space is used well, but not overloaded with stock. You know, you've got two of these kind of dustbin things here and a couple over here, and really simple. And you've got a
And
bit
that's
of
the thing,
stationery.
I'm very, in terms of the products they have, I'm very price conscious, and normally I'll, you know, if I'm after a dustpan and broom, I'll go to Bunnings, I'll go to the $2 shop. They're cheap, they last a while, but they end up breaking. But the thing here is that, I'd actually buy that because it's a product that will last.
It'll last for a lifetime.
Um, and it actually looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even going down to their basement, you know, they're using this space here. Absolutely fantastic. And then they had
And
these things.
it didn't seem cluttered either. There was a lot of product, but it didn't feel that way.
You mean the shop itself didn't feel crowded?
Yeah, yeah. Even though there is so much different. Like that's the thing. You can spend hours there just looking at all the different products because there is so much packed into that tiny, tiny shop.
Yeah.
Every corner is yeah, in that last photo above the stairwell, every corner has product displayed.
Yeah. Even things like this for cleaning wine decanters and things like that are pretty hard to find. And something as simple as this,
Hmm.
so random. And as
Even
you say, well lit.
wood care they had sorry they had in terms of tables and getting your from cups on wooden tables, getting the white ring out, they had products to do that, so that you wouldn't really necessarily find in a general homeware store. It would be more a specialty woodwork slash kind of carpentry shop. You'd be looking for that sort of products.
Even something as simple as these dusters. But again, like you said earlier, really well made, not the cheap stuff you're going to see in discount variety and places like that. They're really turning that everyday functional item into kind of something you'd happily buy as a gift to give somebody because of the quality of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Very impressive. Just so many random things that are just fascinating. And as I said, in the window, toilet brushes, which is just amazing. Very cleverly displayed. So thinking about labor and weight, um, how would you rank it in terms of kind of household goods stores that you've seen? And, we've looked at a lot of retail over the recent years. How innovative would you say it is? And what's your big takeaway about visiting that shop?
Look, in terms of, you know, majority of homeware shops, the product they have from the suppliers they have, you wouldn't really find anything like it in terms of it being brought together in that way and created in that way. Their ethos is basically functionality, quality, honesty, and they've slowly established themselves as being that independent store to go to for that type of product.
So you like
Where
labor and weight. You like labor and weight because the product feels unique.
it's unique, it's well made. The staff there, the story about the enamel and where it's made
Mm.
and things like that. He had so much information, and when he was saying it, it was like he was just saying it because he had to. You could tell he was
Yeah.
excited to share that.
So
And that
so
made you want to stay in the shop longer. It made you want to purchase more as well.
so for you, labor and weight is about unique product, good quality product, backed by excellent staff knowledge, getting to a point where you, as somebody who's price conscious, wouldn't be too concerned about the price because you're buying something of real value that's going to last for a long time.
Yeah, you buy something of quality, and I think nowadays as well, there is a place for your, you know, cheap product, which is easily accessible and will do the job. But then you've got products that labor and weight sell where um, you are spending more money, but it's a product that will last, and it's a product that when you're using it, you'll feel happy using it, and not just using it to clean up some dirt on the floor. You'll
Yeah.
actually, yeah,
Well,
it was a very cool shop.
my takeaway was that if I was living in London, I feel that I could go there for almost any birthday situation and buy a birthday gift that's going to be truly unique and something I'm going to be proud to give.
Yeah, and I think the reason behind that is that the the way they've sourced their product, they deal with a lot of makers and factories in Japan,
Yeah.
also in Europe. So it's a very unique type of product, and there is a big market for that sort of product as well.
And so one of our takeaways is that homewares, which we, often consider as being just purely functional, homewares, when you buy right and really source them correctly, homewares can really work well as a unique gift that people will talk about and drive more word of mouth traffic to your store.
Yeah, and I think even looking at how they display some of the product through some of the suppliers we deal with in our shops, they have eco-friendly brushes and
Mm, mm,
cleaning products, but they come in a cardboard CDU.
mm.
And so it doesn't look great. And if you put that product in one of their metal bins with a similar price label they had, it kind of elevates that product to
Yeah.
it being on a similar level. So you can quite easily mimic what they're doing without going through that whole process of really sourcing that high. And look, their products are expensive. The brushes were for a small shoe brush, you're paying about it was about £20. So what about 35 Aussie?
But it's going to last a
Um,
lifetime.
yeah, yeah, and it's one thing you'll only buy once instead of buying, you know,
Yeah.
two, three times. But yeah, but also, you got to look at, with me, how many times you're going to use that product and the longevity of that product versus all that sort of stuff. So
Look, it's
yeah,
very cool. We need to kind of wrap up. But I think the thing is that we were looking at lists of stores to visit in London, and Labor and Weight kind of wasn't high on that list. And here we are, we just happened to luck across it. And what a good store to visit.
Yeah, it was a really wonderful store.
I'd certainly recommend it to anybody who's in London and interested in retail.
Mm. Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up soon.